Democratic State Senator Beverly Powell of Fort Worth. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. So yesterday you announced what had to have been a difficult decision for you, that you are suspending your reelection campaign and eventually going to be withdrawing your name from the ballot. How difficult was that a decision for you to come to?
Well, you might well imagine that I spent weeks considering, actually months, considering what the path forward was for Senate District 10. And it took a great deal of conversation with my family, with my Senate team, a lot of prayer, a lot of thoughtful consideration of the facts and the inevitabilities moving forward. And it's obvious that this is the only path that we could take to do the right thing for all of the residents of Senate District 10.
Why not stay and fight?
You know, these races are really expensive. There's no question about that. You, as most people know, that it's well over $1 million to fight a race like this. It requires a lot of investment on the part of your partners, a lot of investment of time as well as resources to win a race like this. And I couldn't, in good conscience, expect my supporters to come back to the table with those kinds of resources and that investment of time and emotion for a race that we knew was not winnable.
And was this, let's say you were, whoever wins the seat, are they up? Is this a seat that's held for 2 years or 4 years?
Well, that remains to be seen. Those determinations will be made, I think, after the election.
And how are those determinations made? Is that something that's...
I've never been through that process, so I couldn't tell you exactly how that goes, but just observing, how we, talk about seniority in the Senate and those kinds of things, it's a little bit like drawing a number out of a hat.
And so let me ask you, while you are suspending and eventually ending your reelection campaign, you're not ending your legal battle against the state, isn't that right?
I absolutely am not. I will be a party to the lawsuit that is scheduled to take place at the end of September. We remain committed to that lawsuit. And as a matter of fact, that's a part of our consideration here, to make sure that the resources and the time is available to devote to the initiative to make sure that our minority voters get their voices heard at the ballot box once again.
And are you able to use some of the money that you raised for your legal fight?
Yes, I'm sure we can.
And how confident are you in your case that you will ultimately prevail? And how far are you willing to take it?
I am as confident as one could possibly be at this point. From the very moment we started to consider being a party to this lawsuit, it was clear to me that this new map for Senate District 10 does the same thing that the Senate did in 2011 when they cracked apart the minority neighborhoods and submerged SD10 into surrounding suburban and rural communities. This time around, they've cracked apart Senate District 10. They've cracked apart Hispanic, Black, and Asian neighborhoods, and they've submerged this district into the northern part into Senate District 9, which is a largely Anglo population, and they submerged the southern portion of SD10 into 7 outlying rural Anglo counties. Though the path forward in this configuration of SD10 was not a possibility, it's critical that we make sure that every Texan, regardless of their race, are granted the opportunity to have their voices heard at the ballot box. So this fight is one that we're in it till the end. We've believed in it since the very first. I really thought that we would prevail in our preliminary hearing El Paso this last winter, but since we didn't, I'm confident that this great team of attorneys that came to fight this battle will prevail in September.
And you were hoping that the district judges would hold up the new, delay the new map, if you will, the new district, and allow you to run in the existing district and
Yes.
take up the legal fight after.
That's exactly right, Jack.
And instead they said, nope, we'll hold on to the new map while this fight goes on. How concerned are you that that is an indication of where the court is on this matter?
Well, I'm mildly concerned about it, but I'm confident enough in our case. I'm confident enough because of the history of disenfranchisement of minority voters in Senate District 10, that by the time that we get to the end of the process, we will have everything in place to know that we will prevail.
During the hearings, as you know, you questioned Senator Joan Huffman, who drew the maps. And she had insisted multiple times, had repeated her assertion that she drew the maps blind to race. What is your response to that? And, should they be drawn blind to race?
Well, I will say this. Senator Huffman, Chairman Huffman, who was chairman of redistricting in this cycle, served on the redistricting committee in 2011. She knew that the map that they had drawn in 2011 was overturned. She understood what the racial makeup of Senate District 10 was from the 2011. I don't see how you can say that she drew this map blind to race, knowing that it was a similar disenfranchisement of minority voters to what they did in 2011 at the time that she was on that committee. And tell me the last part of your question one more time.
Well, just the fact that, should these districts be drawn blind to race?
In my opinion, you have to consider that during the census, when we got the census results back for Tarrant County, for SD10, 100% of our growth had been in the minority population. She was clearly aware of that. 95% of the growth across the state of Texas was due to minority population growth. I don't see how you can ignore that fact when you are talking about drawing maps that redistricts Senate seats that serve approximately 1 million people.
And so the case now, I guess, and I'm not a lawyer and I don't play one on TV, but it seems to me you have to prove that this was an illegal racial gerrymander as opposed to just a partisan gerrymander where Republicans just wanted to grab another seat. Is that right?
Yes, that is right.
And so how difficult is that to do?
Well, we'll see, I guess. We've already experienced one disappointment here, but I'm hopeful that our team regroups. I'm very proud of the work that we did in El Paso this past winter. We did a fabulous job of presenting our case, and I am of the belief that they ruled that the way that they did, based on the fact that they thought it was too late to change now, not based on the merits of the case. So I'm hopeful as we move forward that we'll attend to the merits of the case and that will prevail.
And so now getting back to the politics side of it, what now? You said yesterday in a video announcement that you're going to do everything you can to continue your mission beyond the state Senate. So what does that entail? What does that look like?
We're going to take a few days to catch our breath and think about that moving forward in the most thoughtful ways possible. Tarrant County is a thriving, growing county in the state of Texas. We're one of the largest counties in the state of Texas. Fort Worth, where I live now, is the 12th largest city in the nation. There are opportunities everywhere you look. And certainly I have been focused for the last 25 or 30 years on perfecting higher education opportunities, workforce development, on dual enrollment programs. I've been a school board trustee for 10 years and worked diligently to make sure that students had every opportunity they can. Moving forward, there's so much work to be done. We have children who have delayed learning. We need to set up tutoring programs and services to help kids catch back up to their grade level. Our world is changing rapidly. And certainly one of the things that we lifted up during our thought processes about interim charges for the state Senate is that we need a highly developed workforce. We can take a look at our healthcare industry and we know that we're losing nurses, doctors, and technicians. We need programs to train future healthcare workers. We need programs that train students in the newest technology that's coming before us as we start to transition our society into the jobs that are going to exist for a 21st century workforce. And so workforce development, higher education continue to be first in my mind in terms of ways that I can serve.
Democratic State Senator Beverly Powell of Fort Worth. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate your time.
Thank you, Jack. It's been a pleasure.